minutes. I just wanted to give people a chance to jump on and get comfy, get a cup of tea, go to the bathroom really quickly. Yeah, and we should start pretty soon. This is where we're beginning. Lots of fun things to come. In this time of craziness and the knuckling down and learning a new skill or catching up on some reading or hanging out with their family or, you know, just chilling a little bit. I know it's crazy times, but, you know, we can push through. We got this. And it's opening up so many doors. Like, this is our first live Facebook stream, which is super cool. This could definitely become a thing in the future, and hopefully we'll be able to do a lot more of these in the days and weeks to come. Just gonna wait another 3 minutes and then we can get going. We got Kathy on here. Hey, Kathy. You're a long way from Melbourne, but I hope that today I can show you some of our best sites. We can have some fun, and if you haven't been here before, hopefully it's going to make you want to come in the future. Any minute now. No, I thought maybe I could flip it, but I can't. So you're just gonna have to look at my face for the whole hour. Alrighty. Well, I hope you all have your cups of tea or wines or gin and tonics, whatever it is. All right. I'll show you some trams while we wait. There's a tram. This is my first time using like a GoPro selfie stick, and I must say it's quite fun. Woo! I promise to not make you guys feel so dizzy though. Alright, we got 12 people so far. That's almost officially the biggest tour I've ever run with Localing, so that's exciting. Just a little bit about me and where I'm from. I am a tour guide living in Melbourne, working for the amazing company Localing. They're a small private tour company, and their slogan is tours for people who don't like tours, which is exactly what it is. And the feedback we get from a lot of our guests is that it didn't really feel like a tour and they were just hanging out with a new friend for the day, which is awesome, and I think is what sets us apart from other tour groups in Melbourne and probably around the world. We also have tour guides in Adelaide and the South Australia region and Tasmania. So, you know, whether you're tuning in from close by in Australia or Melbourne or far away, I hope that you guys can come visit us one day and myself or another amazing guide can take you around. Alright, I think I might get started. So I've been living in Melbourne for about 9 years. Have come from Sydney. I love this city. It's amazing. It's a bit of a book. The more you're here, the more you learn to love it, the more you discover all of its secrets, and yeah, you really just fall in love with the city. And I think even in just a day, or in this case an hour that you have with me, you'll also fall in love with Melbourne a little bit, because I'm going to show you all the best things. So this intersection behind me is one of Melbourne's biggest and busiest intersections, you know, in this time. Maybe not quite, although there's actually still quite a lot going on, which I'm surprised about. Also, apologies, Melbourne is the city that is always under construction, so there's a lot of construction noise. I hope you can still hear me and everything is okay there. But yeah, I guess starting here, this is St. Paul's Cathedral. Super beautiful. From the other side of the road, you'll get to see a little bit more of its architecture as I get further away. But it's amazing design. And then on this side, we have Flinders Street Station. Again, I'm gonna walk down there in a little bit, give you guys a closer look. But that's our busiest train station. It's the hub of where all of our trains leave from, and we are a city with a lot of trains. We're really well connected. That's the City Circle tram, really loud. That's one of the oldest trams that's used now to take free city tours around the city, and it's really fun and it's free. So if you come to Melbourne, be sure to jump on that. Over here we have Federation Square. Again, I'll get closer. You know, what's a city without an amazing square? And we didn't have one for a long time until this was developed, and it is amazing. It's a hub of social and cultural activities, and yeah, a lot of good times, a lot of amazing businesses in there. I'm gonna walk down to the intersection now, so you can kind of get a view of the church or the cathedral as I'm walking away. It is still running. There are still services that go out of this cathedral, but at the moment they're doing it via live streaming, like we are, like a lot of the world is forced to do at the moment. So if you want to see the inside, jump on their website. Sorry, it's a tram, and have a look. But you can probably see from here how beautiful it is, I think. Oh yeah, okay, if I just go like that, pretty epic. Pretty epic. All right, and across we go with Flinders Street Station. So Flinders Street is the first train station in a city of Australia, and it's still our busiest one today. It's super beautiful. Again, I'll get a little bit closer, but that's a pretty good shot. That amazing dome on top and beautiful architecture. There was a design competition held, and that was the design that won, and I love it, and I think most people of Melbourne love it. And yeah, I'll go there later. So this is some of the construction that is happening at the moment to bring us more trains more often by Victoria State Government. Yeah, so that'll be good, because more trains more often is great. So here we are in Federation Square. Can't really see too much just yet, but it's kind of an open amphitheater just here. So if you guys happen to come in Christmas time, that is where our big Christmas tree is every year. I don't know if some of you guys have experienced a warm Christmas before, but it's interesting and great. It's really fun. So in this area, in Federation Square, it's kind of, yeah, as I said, a social cultural hub of Melbourne. There's a lot of restaurants, there's a lot of bars, there's museums, there's the Academy of Moving Images, so really amazing film festivals that you can go to in here. There's always kind of different festivals that are happening, whether it be a Japanese food festival, an Indian festival, something like that. So usually this space is jam-packed with something, and every time I come here there's something new, so it's always keeping you on your toes. And this here is obviously it's a TV screen. That is actually a really important part of this square. So, you know, who doesn't like sport? We all do. And it's so much more fun when you're watching it with heaps of people all yelling and screaming and jumping on top of each other. So that is what happens here. This space gets filled with God knows how many people, and that screen shows lots of fun sporting events around Melbourne, and that stage is also where they do a lot of free concerts. So yeah, this space is really, really cool. So Federation Square was finished in 2002, and also a design competition was held. And yeah, I think at the beginning the designers were into it, but the public weren't so much into it. It's quite modern and different, but I think just based on the sense of community that it brings to Melbourne, all locals love it now, or at least I do. And Melbourne is such a great mix of new and old architecture. Like, you know, you've got this kind of design right across the road from Flinders Street, which is right across the road from that cathedral. So it's all kind of mixed and blended in with each other. So we are now walking down to the Yarra River. And the Yarra River is kind of the, you know, the heart of Melbourne. This is where it all began. So I'm just gonna pop out really quickly here. There it is, the Yarra River. So peaceful. So over there somewhere is a lot of Melbourne schools' rowing sheds. So kind of on any given day that you come down here, you're bound to see school students rowing, which is really beautiful. It brings a really nice vibe. Not at the moment, but it happens. And down here there's some bars and lots of cool stuff. Again, currently not in use, but that's okay. So whenever there's a festival that happens in Federation Square, it often pours out into this area. So this whole area will also have stalls. Sustainability festival, that's a really good one. Food festivals are always just good because it's food, and Melbourne is such a multicultural place, and you know, we've got such amazing cuisine from all over the world, which we're super fortunate to have. So that's always fun. Taxi Kitchen, great bar and restaurant. Melbourne is really renowned for rooftop bars. So there's a really, really nice one up there. You get a great view of the Yarra. All right, so speaking of the Yarra. So if you're just tuning in now, by the way, my name is Libby. I'm from Localing Private Tours, an amazing local touring company in Melbourne who also have guides in South Australia and Tasmania. And this is a new thing we're trying out because times are changing and you need to adapt, and this is us adapting. And yeah, it involves me walking around my beautiful city of Melbourne with a selfie stick, which I've never done before. All right, so I really love this spot of Melbourne in particular because it really shows you how easy it is to get around Melbourne, how much it makes sense, how connected it all is, which, no offense Sydney, you don't do quite a good job at. But so behind me, where we're going to go into a bit later, is the Central Business District. And then this is the beautiful Yarra. Oh, you can't quite see it, but over there is all of our sporting stadiums. So I don't know if you can, but you would be able to see the MCG, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. That is the largest sporting stadium in the Southern Hemisphere, obviously in Australia. It can hold just over 100,000 people. It's used to watch or to play the footy, Australian Football League. If you have never heard of that, that is your homework for today. Look up on YouTube Australian Football League and watch what it is, because it is absolutely crazy and Melbournians go absolutely crazy for it. We have 8 of the 18 national teams. Anyway, that is our most watched and attended sporting event, so hence they need the biggest stadium and the cricket. And then we also have a bunch of other sporting complexes down there where the Australian Open takes place, soccer, rugby, you name it, and it's all bundled together in one area, which is so smart. And you can just walk there from the city. So city, you walk along the beautiful Yarra River and you're at your sporting game, which is so convenient because they line up the promenade with all these really cool informational things, like when the Australian Open is on, they've decorated it and they really encourage people to walk, which is great because walking is great and you really get to see a city that way. So I'm just gonna run across this street. Don't tell anyone. Oh my god, it's so quiet in the city. This is so weird. And bring you over to South Bank. So South Bank, and also conveniently located is our arts precinct, which is just behind me. I don't know if you can see that Eiffel Tower looking thingy. That is our arts centre. We have our National Gallery of Victoria down there too. Again, all on the same block or two, walking distance from the city, like stone throw away. It's just there. So you can see, and we have so many amazing musicals, theatre productions, music, like everything you can imagine. Melbourne has it. So we have a bunch of other theatres scattered throughout the city, but that's a great place to go and see a bunch of shows. So this is South Bank. Great place for eating and being really cool and going to bars that are floating on the river. Highly recommend Ponyfish Bar if no one's been there before. And yeah, lots of hotels and office life goes on around here, but a lot of socializing, a lot of really fun events. You can take these really cute little boats and do Yarra River cruises. And behind us just there, that really tall building, that's Eureka. That was completed in 2006. That was our highest building up until that other building behind it. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of poking up just there, is now going to be the highest building. Both are residential. Crazy. The new one has 1,005 apartments. Secret, the penthouse apartment sold for $25 million, which is an Australian record. So you can only imagine the view from up there and what that's going to look like. But yeah, residential buildings. For the Eureka Tower, you can go up on the 88th floor and there's an amazing viewing deck where you can see all of the city. You can stand in this glass box and feel like you're falling, and it's crazy and fun. But yeah, the Yarra River, leads out to Port Phillip Bay, which is just down there, which then leads out into the ocean. So, this is where Melbourne started. This is where the settlers came in 1835. That's when Melbourne was discovered. And this is where all of the Aboriginal people were living and hunting and hanging out. This was their stomping ground. And so the settlers came in and they were talking to the Aboriginal people, obviously in completely different languages, trying to figure out where they were, what this was called. And they were trying to communicate, asking, what's the name of this river? And the Indigenous people just kept saying Yarra, 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 and were pointing to the water, which in their language meant fast flowing water. So that is how the Yarra River got its name. Slight miscommunication, but that happens. So yeah, really important hub and kind of heart of Melbourne here, and so much goes on around it, and it's just a great little aspect of the city. So as we walk now into the alleyways and laneways of Melbourne, which are the bomb if you've never been here before, they have been converted into the most hipster joints you can imagine. So we're gonna go down there, look at some of the beautiful arcades and street art and all that cool stuff. But while we're cruising, because I've got a little bit of time to get from A to B, I just thought I'd let you guys know a little bit about localing and some other stuff that we do. So Melbourne is a great city in itself. If you come to Melbourne and you do a tour with us, we'll also take you to some of the suburbs, to North Side, which is kind of known as the hipster artistic area. It was the first suburb of Melbourne. It's where a lot of the factories used to be and a lot of the workers used to live in these really cute cottages there. That's now all been transformed into little micro factories. So there's really cool bakeries, got to go to Loon. If you're in town, we'll take you there, don't worry. We'll make sure you get the right things, even though you can't really go wrong. Coffee roasteries, breweries, art galleries, furniture making shops, like everything. Really cool warehouse apartments. So we take you all around there, look at the street art, take you south side where you've got St Kilda Beach. Now I'll admit Melbourne beaches are nothing compared to Sydney, but it is a beach and there's a beautiful promenade and wow, that is really, really loud. And people do go swimming there and there's restaurants and you can ride your bike and it's all cool. Really quickly, I'm just going to show you these clocks. So we are now at Flinders Street Station. So usually on a normal day, these steps would be, you know, full of people sitting, waiting for their friends to get off from whatever train line they've come down. And a really common saying in Melbourne is, I'll meet you under the clocks or I'll meet you on the steps. Clocks, steps. These clocks have been here forever, and I believe they tried to change them to digital at one point, and Melbourne was an uproar. We like our vintage things, you know, and we like our new things, but we like our vintage things. But yeah, those clocks tell you what time the next train is coming. Divert to the city tram. So I'm about to cross one of our busiest intersections, which is quite funny right now because there's about 3 people on the other side of the road. But usually this is a bit of a push and shove to get over here. And we're going. All right, bye Flinders Street. Yeah, but other than going to the cool hipster north side and the slightly schwanky south side, we also do tours to the Great Ocean Road, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. And if you haven't, you should Google it right now because it really is a wonder of the world. That is an amazing trip, and I must say it is really important to get a driver for the day or a guide because you just want to be looking out the window the whole entire time. It is stunning the whole way through. Windy roads, beautiful blue ocean. Yeah, so that's a really fun day trip that you can do with us. We also do the Yarra Valley, which is our oldest wine growing region in Victoria. Another great day. You get someone to drive you around, you taste wine, get a little bit tipsy, we take you out for a nice lunch, we take you to a sanctuary where you can see some of Australia's many amazing animals. So that's the Yarra Valley. We do Mornington Peninsula, another great wine region, also has beautiful beaches and oceanside. Okay, I'm gonna interrupt myself because we are heading into the Cathedral Arcade. Look at these, look at that. Stainless roof, tiled floors, a usual hipster coffee joint. Don't know why Subway's still open, but yeah, this place is amazing. And this is the first of 3 arcades that I'm going to take you through today. So they like to put a lot of local brands in here. So here we have this one, Koo One or something like that, made in Melbourne. Always good. We love local stuff, localing. We have vintage stores. We have a bunch of other cool boutique stores. But yeah, it's the most beautiful way to divert yourself from street traffic, really. That's what all the arcades are about. So we're entering onto our first laneway. Woo! So Melbourne is laid out in a grid. It's named the Hoddle Grid after the man Hoddle who designed the whole concept. So it's streets, laneway, street, laneway, street, laneway. And the laneways were originally used for delivery trucks to drop off stuff for the shops that were fronting onto the main street. So that's kind of what the laneways were designed for. And now they're just the coolest place to be. It's where all the cool bars are. It's where all the cool cafes are, street art, everything. So yeah, it's really taken a turn. Speaking of street art, here is probably our first big piece. How good's that? So as you can see, when Melbourne do street art, you know, we take it pretty seriously. And a lot of these pieces are either commissioned by the shop. So in this case, it could be Brunetti, which is a great cake shop if you're ever in Melbourne, or the City of Melbourne. So yeah, this is kind of the extent of some of the skill that we have here. It really is on another level. So we're just gonna keep cruising down here. So I don't know if you guys have heard of De Grave Street, but that is one of our most popular laneways. I'm gonna warn you, it doesn't look like what it usually looks like right now. So I'm gonna show it to you, but you're gonna have to play a little imagination game with me because, yeah, it's looking a little bare. Okay, so De Graves. So your job is to imagine this lined with tables that are all identically symmetrical, and you look like you're on the streets of France or Italy, and these are all cute coffee shops and restaurants with actually really good food. It's a really popular place for tourists and for people who work in the city. So yeah, this is usually lined with tables and people, and it's just something out of a movie. It's really beautiful. Lots of cool local shops down here as well. So yeah, this is Little Italy or France. And then down here, just across the road, we have what I like to kind of refer to as the Little Berlin. So a little bit more on the grungy side, which is always good. We like a bit of grunge in Melbourne. So, you know, you got secret little doorways like this that lead you up to bars. You know, only the cool people know about these things. And it's just full of awesome street art. Actually, this is cool because usually these are all open and you can't see all the graffiti. Whoa, heaps of graffiti. But yeah, some of these places are still going. A lot of them are not anymore. But usually, again, like chairs outside all of these places. This is full. It's a really good vibe, really cheap, convenient takeaway food if you're working in the city. This was my go-to hangout when I moved to Melbourne when I was 20. It's the cool place to be, still is. Yeah, you got some residential apartments up on top. You've got to be a really good sleeper to live there. We're just crossing through one of the arcades. This one isn't really worth talking about, but we are about to go through two very beautiful arcades. And we're gonna pop out onto Collins Street just here, which is kind of our bougie shopping street. So, you know, if you wanna buy some Louis Vuitton or some Tiffany & Co. or a nice watch, this is the place to be in Melbourne. This is the spot, Collins Street. And by the way, if anyone is wondering or concerned about me doing this, I am allowed to be out here on the street. So if anyone comes up to me and talks to me, it's all good. We got it under control. Team at Localing are all over it. All right. So, oh, also I didn't say our last tour, which was Phillip Island, which is to see the cutest little penguins, literally called little penguins, ever. There's thousands of them that come up onto the beach every night, and they're just the cutest, and it's really worthwhile seeing. So if you're ever in Melbourne, come look at the penguins with me. It'll be great. Okay, the Block Arcade. This is quite hard to steer. So this is, it's open. It is open. It's open. Okay, so this floor is probably the reason that I love this place so much. The guy who designed it was given the brief to make it like something you see in Milan, so that Italian influence, and they actually had Italian people come over and help do all of the tiles, and these are the original tiles. Oh, I'm not going to show you in there. So in here is the famous open tea rooms, which is also not open, but I'm just going to go like this so you can see the floor. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, usually there is a line always out the front of this place. Can you see the sign? Hopetoun Tea Rooms. Oh my God, their cakes aren't even here. Again, usually full of the most mouth-watering cakes you've ever seen, but this is kind of a good indication of what these arcades were used for. So the gold rush hit Melbourne in the 1850s, early 1850s, and it brought an abundance of wealth. So 1850s, 1860s, big gold rush, lots of money coming through. And yeah, people, you know, at some point in time need to spend that money, and you know, they've got their nice dresses and their nice things, and Melbourne didn't have sewerage for like 60 years. So they designed these arcades as a place where I think particularly women could come and do the block and walk around in their nice clothes and drink tea with their friends and be all civil and whatnot. So yeah, Hopeton Tea Rooms, here since 1892. It's a long time ago. It's a popular cake shop. More of this amazing floor. Like, look at this place. Isn't this beautiful? Super nice. It's actually really nice to be in here by myself right now. It's really quiet. So more of the floor. Amazing. So what we have over here is Haig's Chocolate. This is an Australian family owned and run chocolate company, and it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, 1915, started in Adelaide, but now they have shops all around Australia. It's delicious. It's a great place to get presents for friends and family. I'm just gonna do one more quick, like, oh my God, how beautiful is this, before I go inside, and hopefully they'll give me a sample of some chocolate. Otherwise, I'm just gonna show you. So I'm not gonna, but yeah, to get chocolate to come and sample. Okay, know her. When you come, that door's not open. When you come here with us, we will definitely get you some sample chocolate, and you can drool over how good it is. Okay, so this is more of this arcade. So epic. This is what you would do at the tea rooms if they were open. All right, so usually down this way as well, it is lined with cafes. You've got people sipping on coffee. Melbourne is the city of coffee. We take pride in that, and we take it very seriously. So if you come to Melbourne, you've got to drink our coffee. Got to go to all the great places that we have, all the local roasteries, and indulge, because yeah, it's on another level. We win prizes for it, actually. So we are now crossing the road, and we're going into the Royal Arcade. So this was the first arcade that we had in Melbourne, the first paved surface of Melbourne, actually. In we go. Wow, it is very quiet in here. So again, absolutely beautiful, amazing floor, amazing ceilings, amazing detail with the cast iron and all the shop fronts. It's really, really beautiful. So we have really cute little souvenir shops like this, the Melbourne shop. So if you want a present that's a little bit different to what you would usually get, this is a great option. A lot of these shops are actually really good options for nice little local gifts. Yeah, all local companies, and they're really great. So we're just gonna cruise out here. You can get another little view of this. I hope everyone's having a good time so far. Again, my name is Libby, if you're just tuning in. I'm having a great time. And yeah, I hope to be able to do this with you in person one day when you come to Melbourne, which I know you will after this, because I'm showing you the best things ever. So this is Cocoa Black. This is Haig's Chocolate, newest arrival. And when you come to Melbourne, I'll get you a few pieces of Hague's and a few pieces of Cocoa Black, and you can be the infamous taste tester and let us know what you think. Which one's better, the old school or the new school? Both are great. All right, so we're coming up to a really cool picture here that I will try and make you see properly. So this, can you see that? Yeah, is a picture of what Melbourne used to look like. So this is 1870. The gold has arrived, there is wealth, there are horses, there are top hats, there are gowns, there is sewage. So yeah, this is a little glimpse of what it used to look like. And this is the arcade that we're in now. And we are about to cross this street right here. And I'm gonna show you what this arcade looks like today. So take a mental picture of this and let's go see what it looks like now. So we're coming out onto Burke Street. This is a very central spot for shopping. We have Maya and David Jones, which are our two department stores. Oh, there's a tram. Okay. Can you see it behind me already? I don't want to give it away, but I do also. Look, it's the same pretty much. So this is a tram only street, by the way, which is really great. They're making a lot more streets in Melbourne only suitable for trams and pedestrians, which I love, and bikes. That's the arcade. So dig out that mental picture of the photograph and you can be the judge on if it looks the same still. It's a beautiful building. Melbourne does a really good job at restoring a lot of our old buildings. You know, we're a young city, we don't have that much history, or we do actually, but it's nice to keep all that old architecture while we have it. This is another really epic one. This is, I'm gonna have to get closer to show you that. This is the GPO, which is the old Melbourne post office, now converted into H&M for all your shopping needs. Like, this is really well maintained. Also, this is a really popular spot for busking. Melbourne is full of all of the arts and music and culture that you can imagine. So these steps is a really popular spot for people to sit, and right here is one of the biggest busking spots for Melbourne. So you actually have to have a permit to busk on this street and Swanston Street. So only good people allowed. And a lot of people have started amazing music careers from busking on these streets. Tash Sultana, if you don't know her, that's homework number 2. Australian Footy and Tash Sultana, look them up. So yeah, popular spot for that. Beautiful building that they restored. Whoa, GoPros. Cool. All right, I'm gonna walk us up this way now, and I'm gonna take you down one of our, I would probably call it more a graffiti laneway rather than a street art. It is, you know, there is a difference because street art is kind of like what I showed you before. Big, beautiful pieces done by amazing artists. And graffiti is kind of more like tagging and amateurish kind of stuff, but you know, everyone has their own style and we accept it all. More on the street art side, but well, I hope I still have quite a few of you with me. Made in Melbourne for Melbourne, that's what we like to see. So not only do we have like the bougie arcades, we also have a lot of just kind of standard arcades because, as I said, Melbourne is laid out in a grid. These laneways just help you cut through so much foot traffic. It is the best. So this is another one that I was just, you know, standard kind of arcade. But yeah, they're very much appreciated. So this is David Jones, by the way. Big retail store, and Maya is the white one. So they've both got really cool buildings that have been maintained Same with Zara down there. Anyway, into the street art. Union Lane. Here we go. So, this is, yeah, slightly more on the graffiti side. There is something new here every single day. You know, street art is temporary, and that's kind of the fun of it. Every single time I take a tour down here, there's something new, and often there can be really beautiful things up here and sometimes not so beautiful, but there was a really amazing mural that took up this whole side. You can kind of see the remnants of the red and the white. It was a huge mural to say thank you to our firefighters and to kind of pay respects to. It's been one hell of a year for Australia. But yeah, there was a really big mural that just said thank you firefighters, and kind of gave you some knowledge about how much land was lost, how many homes were lost, all that kind of stuff, which was really beautiful. But of course, like, now look at it, you can't even tell that that happened, but you know, that's just the game. But yeah, this is Union Lane. So, and street art doesn't really just stop at graffiti. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like some wire hung up there. People will stick all sorts of things. Everything is art. It's whatever you interpret it to be. But yeah, when you guys come and visit, this will probably have a bunch of different stuff on the wall, which is the fun part. Okay, so now that we've seen that one, I'm gonna take us up to Hosier Lane, I think, which is kind of on another level. It's got my favorite art piece in it, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. I know you're really excited too, but I'm gonna cross because I want to show you guys this tea shop, which was started in Melbourne, like many other cool things, and it is T2. Can you see the sign? T2? Amazing tea company, amazing products. When you guys come, I'll take you in there. They've got Melbourne breakfast, Adelaide breakfast, Canberra breakfast, New York breakfast. They got a few shops internationally as well, but you know, you want to try it where it was started, which is here. So yeah, come to Melbourne and I'll take you to T2 and we can drink tea together. It'll be lots of fun. You got to break the coffee up with some tea every now and then, otherwise you're just drinking coffee all day, every day. Otherwise you're on the rooftop bars drinking beers and cocktails. Melbourne's got a great nightlife scene. Oh, I miss that at the moment. But yeah, rooftop bar galore. Lygon Street, which is our Italian hub. Lots of amazing bars and restaurants there. Honestly, there's just endless stuff going on in the city. Also, this is really cool. I don't know if you can see it. This is red and this lights up. Oh, now it's green, so that means I can go. Can you see? Okay, anyway. It's a fun little quirk of Melbourne. You can see it in a distance. And I think it's actually because people are looking down on their phones all the time now, so they don't have to look up, which is a little, yeah, you know how it is. All right. So we are about to walk past Town Hall of Melbourne, another really beautiful building. I kind of want to see if any of you guys are asking questions, because I haven't done that. I don't think so, but if you are, I'm really sorry, because my phone's been in my pocket. I don't do this very often. Actually, I've never done it, so yeah, sorry if that's been the case. It's kind of more sit back and relax kind of tour. So, Town Hall. We've all got one. This one's really beautiful. And the Manchester Unity building on the other side. Can you see it? stick is really hard to use. That is where Melbourne's first elevator was, and it's a really, really epic building. Full of some interesting stories, that place. All right, so the thing about Melbourne as well, because of the way it's laid out in a grid, you're just constantly zigzagging your way around the city, which is fun. But yeah, whenever I have guests here, I'm like, okay, now we're going right, and now we're going left. So now we're going straight. Oh, I did get a question. Kathy, are you taking us to Loon Cafe today? Unfortunately not. It's probably closed. But Kathy, when you come back to Melbourne, I will personally take you there and shout you a croissant and a coffee or a tea, whatever you prefer. So yeah, we'll be sure to do that. For those of you that don't know, Loon is the most ridiculous bakery that make the most delicious croissants, and it's become a bit of a Melbourne obsession, as things do. And yeah, it's amazing. I love taking my guests there. They love it. Awesome. Woo, Kathy. So this is another one of the train stations that's coming through at some point, which is going to be great. We, as a city, Melbourne has the longest tram network in the world, I think. So we're super well connected by trams. Our train network is amazing, and we have cycle lanes everywhere, which is great. So it supports all of that kind of public transport, which I really love. It's such a necessity to a big city, and other than the fact that we don't have a train station to the airport, which apparently is coming, can't complain really about the public transport of Melbourne. All right. Yeah, as I said, hope you guys are enjoying this, and it's a bit of a mix of, you know, knowledge and fun, and that's kind of what localing is all about. This is our pin, and it is the only thing we use as uniform, so it's really cool. It's like you are literally just walking around with a local for the day, and they're showing you all their favorite spots and dropping some knowledge bombs where we can, and all of our cars are unmarked, which is also great, so you don't feel like you're driving around in one of those, you know, over the top tall cars. They're all very nice. We clean them thoroughly every day, and yeah, they're really luxurious. So you'll be cruising around in a high-end car with some amazing hand sanitizer from Aesop, probably the most sought after product at this point in time. And yeah, we'll just be driving you around to all these amazing places that Melbourne has to offer, and beyond the city. Also, if there's other places you want to go, Dandenong Ranges for a forest hike, we can do all of that. If you want to go surfing in Torquay, we can do that. Torquay, by the way, is kind of the home of surf culture in Australia. So that's where Quicksilver and all of those big brands began, and it's just beautiful. Australian beaches are out of control, and it's definitely worth the hour-long drive to get there. Oh, I'm here. Am I? I am. Okay, we're at Hosier Lane. So this is one of the more established and kind of famous graffiti lanes of Melbourne. Again, changes every time, but you know, you've got some really, really beautiful murals happening here. All sorts of fun things. Yeah, it is really amazing how much the city of Melbourne encourage street art, which is really every place should, because it just adds so much color and life to a city, and it's an appreciation for an art, which street art is. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I'll tell you, everyone that comes to Melbourne loves it because it's fun. Okay, so this is the piece that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to, does that work? So, I'm gonna back up a little bit. That, hopefully you can see, is a piece done by Adnate. He is an Australian graffiti artist, street art. And he does amazing work with Aboriginal communities. So I don't know, I'm hoping you can see that. I'm really hoping, because it's amazing. That is of a young Aboriginal boy. It is just absolutely amazing, and the detail that he does on his pieces is incredible, and the emotion that you can see in their faces, it's just, yeah, it is worth seeing. And as much as a lot of this street art changes from day to day, this piece has been here for a really long time, and I'm hoping because of its slightly odd location that it will remain there, and just what it's about, hopefully people will respect that. But yeah, you can't see it that well, so this is just a tester, and or teaser, sorry, so you can come and check it out when you're in Melbourne yourself. But yeah, he has a lot of other amazing pieces all around Melbourne, but that's my fave. All right, some more street art. So another classic thing of Melbourne is all of our best bars and restaurants are kind of hidden down these kind of rough looking, like beautiful but rough looking laneways. So down here we have Mavita, which is a really famous Melbourne tapas restaurant and bar, and you know, these are the doors to some of Melbourne's finest dining experiences. So definitely recommend coming and indulging. Our food is on another level. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy this until I get down to a piece down here that I want to talk to you about. Also, usually this is just full of people with selfie sticks like I am right now, taking photos, and it's a little bit crazy and chaotic. So again, there's a, you know, bright side in every situation, and that is that we get this all to ourselves right now. Ah, here's my koala friend. This is a piece that I love, and I'm really happy that it's still here. Again, I think just because of what it represents, people have respected that. So this is a firefighting koala. Again, paying respects to all the animals that were lost in the Australian bushfires that happened this summer. It was, yeah, it was really heartbreaking for everyone. A lot of koalas were killed, and also their homes were destroyed. So it was a really great display of how Australia as a community came together and really supported each other through that time. There was a lot of fundraisers. Yeah, it was amazing. But that's the firefighting koala. Isn't he cute? Andrew Gibbons art. This here is a black cockatoo, which if you come to Melbourne will take you to some of our amazing sanctuaries that we have out here, and you can see a black cockatoo. They're really one of my favorite birds. Really amazing Australian native plants around here. That one's a little creepy. This is a new one. Care for all, it says. Smile. See? How nice is that? That's so good. Yeah, and our heart really goes out to everyone out there that is struggling in this time, and you know, it's a crazy time to be alive, but who knows what will come from it, and we'll just have to support each other and stay connected and hopefully we can keep doing more of these live tours. If you guys have any feedback, you can let us know. I'm sure that would be appreciated. Because yeah, there's so much more to show you, and I miss tour guiding. So this is great. This is the Forum Theatre, by the way. A great place to watch amazing concerts and gigs. Not at the moment, but I'm sure it'll be back soon enough. And from here, actually, you can get a good view of Federation Square from the other side. And Flinders Street Station is down the road. So that covers 2 whole city blocks, Flinders Street Station. So it's really long. Platform 1 is the 4th longest platform in the world. We've got some trams coming our way. All right, guys, I think this is where I'm gonna love you and leave you. It's been a pleasure. I hope you guys have learned something and you've enjoyed the sights of Melbourne. And yeah, first run at this, so I hope it was okay. I'm gonna cross really responsibly at the Green Man. And when you come to Melbourne, Loon is just up there, one of them, so we'll go there. But yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed it and you learned something, and you come see us when all of this is over, because we miss having travelers come visit our beautiful home and showing you guys around. And yeah, sending out lots of love and good vibes to everyone, and stay safe, stay smart, stay connected, and stay positive, because we have to in this time. Again, Libby from Localing Private Tours. Look us up and like our Facebook page, because hopefully this is the first of many tours that we'll be doing. So you don't want to miss one, because obviously they're really fun. So yeah, I need to figure out how to stop this now. Do I do that? All right, I'm gonna, do I just, also thanks to everyone that commented as I try and figure out how to stop this thing. Save video. I'm just gonna turn it off. Okay, bye everyone. Am I?